Hello.
Hello, it is NTI Day
Cinco.
Yeah,
Looks like I had four.
we
It's really
are
five.
now professionals by day 5. There are no more mess ups. So we are shooting live from Lakeview Heights, and just want to give you some information about. Do you want me to not do that?
No, it's okay. I don't care.
Okay, and so anyway, we're outside on this beautiful day.
And it just happens to be the first official day of spring, which leads us to our word of the day.
Word of
the day.
Yeah.
See, we're getting in sync there.
Yeah.
Not in spring, in sync. Okay, so our word of the day is vernal equinox. So here's your language arts word usage word of the day, lesson of the day. Okay. Vernal means spring, because it's the first day of spring, and I know I have Mr. Snowman on my front door, and that's okay.
He's old news.
I may have snowflakes also on the front of my house, but that's all right too. Equinox, now my students should know part of what this words mean, because equa means equal, so equinox, and nox means night. So literally what that means is on the vernal equinox, which is today, there is an equal amount of daylight and dark all over the world, which is totally cool. Like anywhere you go, just kind of like what we're experiencing with the current pandemic, word of the day from a couple days ago. The same thing goes for the vernal equinox. So wherever you are, all over the world, there's an equal amount of daylight and dark, which is totally cool, I think.
Totally cool.
Brain Pop, by the way, a resource we talked about yesterday, they have a great video and some activities on there. So you can find the link on Google Classroom or just go to brainpop.com.
All right, and moving on, we are going to add a new segment as Miss Mason and I spearhead this whole video.
Just changing it up every day.
And we are going to actually add this day in history. And
history.
It's
this day in history.
Yeah, I kind of messed that up.
History.
But so we will do that we'll try to do that every day if we can find something important. So today, in 1792, the Paris Legislative Assembly approved the use of the guillotine.
Now, Mr. Hood.
What?
How do you spell guillotine?
Guillotine.
Wow.
Guillotine.
I am impressed. Don't you have one of those in your garage?
I actually used to have one because I love Halloween, and we had a guillotine prop, but we no longer have it. We just have 2 coffins now. So, but it was outlawed, and actually we want you to figure out when it was outlawed. That's going to be your little bit of homework, okay? But I want to read a couple of things. Like I said, it was last used in the 1970s.
Do you know what a guillotine is?
Oh my gosh.
It's... Okay, well, you can research that too.
It's a real pain in the neck.
That was a joke for yesterday. Let's laugh out loud day.
It was, back in the day, in the 1790s, it was a popular children's toy. They were never bored. And so they had about 2-foot models of a guillotine that they could play with, and they could cut little things up and stuff like that. So it said children often attended guillotine executions. Sorry.
X means out, so.
And some may have even played with their own miniature guillotines at home. During the 1790s, a 2-foot tall replica blade and timbers was a popular toy in France. Kids used the fully operational guillotines to decapitate dolls or even rodents. This is morbid. This is much different than our day yesterday.
I think we need to stop.
Okay.
We went a totally different direction from Let's Laugh Out Loud to, but although it is interesting, it's interesting that it was a...
Most towns eventually banned them out of fear that they were a
dangerous
bad influence on people.
Well,
okay?
I can understand that. That might be the best decision a town legislation has ever made.
Guillotine operators were considered to be national celebrities, though. They were very popular back then, and this was a big spectator sport.
Okay, I think we need to cut that out.
Cut it out.
Okay. Oh, well, wait. There was one more thing that was interesting. Mr. Hood was reading earlier when he was researching this that they were actually used in some places up to the 1970s. That was like about 50 years ago, and that's a little less than 50 years ago. But that's not like a long time to consider that they were used then. That's kind of that. I mean, like, that's crazy. I wasn't alive then. I was not.
some of the people we work with were, though.
That's true.
So that's crazy.
Okay, so now on to the serious business.
Serious business.
Okay.
This is called serious segment.
Serious segment. I gotta prepare myself. Serious. Although guillotines are kind of serious too. But anyway, okay, so here's what we want to know. This is probably the most important thing that we're going to talk about today. We want to talk to you. We're trying to desperately get in touch with you. And when I say we, it's not just the 6th grade teachers, your 7th and 8th grade teachers, and actually the elementary school teachers and probably the high school teachers too, are trying to get in touch with their students. So if you have not heard from your teacher, at least one, because we can't get in touch with all of them, but at least if you've not actually talked to or emailed or texted or whatever with a teacher, then you need to let us know. Like, call the school, email your teacher, maybe answer the phone if you see a weird number calling. We are not spamming you.
No.
Mr. Hood might, but I'm not.
I might try to sell you something too, like vacuum cleaners or something, I don't know, on the side. But can I just say that I am so proud of Rowan County right now.
I am too.
Let me tell you something. I have 2 daughters and that are in the school system, and Miss Mason has a couple kids too in the school system as well. My oldest daughter's teacher FaceTimed my daughter this morning, and they had a big long conversation. Then my other younger daughter was picking flowers out of her neighbor's yard that works at the preschool, and they FaceTimed us. No trespassers, but it shows that they really do care. And I'm not just seeing it from the preschool, and I'm not just seeing it from Tilden Hog, but I'm also seeing it from all the elementary schools and the middle school and even the high school. They are doing some incredible things to reach out and to lessen the disturbance or the disruption of this pandemic.
And to stay connected, because we're going to talk a little bit later about having a schedule and staying connected. You know, we as adults, we miss seeing our coworker friends who we cannot see right now or we don't see. We definitely miss you. Even Mr. Hood misses our students.
Even I.
And all of them. We miss you guys. But we understand that you all, the kiddos, probably miss each other. My daughter, she was so excited because I let her email one of her friends, and she was so excited because she talked to her teacher yesterday. So here's another vocabulary word of the day: isolation. Isolation is when you are kind of alone. It's the active state of being alone. And in this day and time with the social distancing, more and more of us are alone. We can't communicate with each other. So we want to communicate with you. So again, if you've not heard from one of your teachers, at least one, or your parent or guardian hasn't heard from them, please reach out to make sure that we have your correct telephone number or email address or whatever your preferred method of communication, because it might be wrong, and that's why we can't get a hold of you. So,
and although this little dilemma we're in is not the greatest thing ever, it really has built some relationships. One of the things when you're teachers is sometimes you get overwhelmed by the paperwork and the other not so important things, and so really we are making a more deliberate effort to make relationships and continue those relationships. And I've had some great conversation with the parents and guardians of our students. Our notes are starting to fly away. We're trying to be cool and do this outside, and it's really windy.
Okay, so real quick, we have a couple more resources. At least, I think the 8th graders in the middle school do this already, but the 6th graders, you're getting ready to get some login information for News, NEWSELA, ELA. And that'll be posted on Google Classroom for the 6th grade kiddos. And it allows you to access some different articles and some really cool things. And I know that the 7th grade teachers have already used this, and they posted some stuff on the Facebook page, which is amazing. And a lot of other teachers use something called Zoom, and it allows you to have like video conferences with multiple people at the same time. I don't really know how that will work, because sometimes students and adults are not the best at not interrupting. But we'll work it out. Miss Mann and we are going to try to do that on Tuesday at 1 o'clock for our students. So look for instructions and more information on Google Classroom. And please be patient, because I've never used it before. And again, sometimes technology is not always my friend, but I will figure it out. I'm learning every day. I'm learning new things every day. You guys are hopefully too, but I definitely am.
And another thing, going back to how great our teachers have been doing in the county, I also like to do a shout out to the parents. The parents are doing some incredible activities. I'm seeing that on social media.
Yep.
really stepping up their game as far as making sure their kids are engaged and not, we have the packets, but they're doing experiments and all sorts of stuff.
And you know, Mr. Hood, I don't know if you've had the same issue at your house, but we get it, because even though I'm a teacher, I'm not my kids' teacher. I'm not an elementary school teacher, and it is much more difficult to teach your own kids anything than for me to teach somebody else's. I don't know what it is. You guys know. I mean, do you want to listen to your parents?
The struggle is real.
It's tough. Today has been a tough day in the Mason house. I'm going to be totally transparent there. It's tough. So parents, we applaud you, we understand, and we're here for you if you need us. Oh, and if any of you need help getting logged into Google Classroom, I know Miss Pack, one of our 8th grade teachers, she has made some videos on how to log in, and we'll get those posted on the Rowan County Middle School Facebook page pretty soon, so you can look at those, parents and students, just in case you're having any trouble, okay?
All right. The next thing we're going to talk about, some helpful hints. This is our helpful hints or helpful suggestions segment.
Yes.
Is the importance of a schedule. You know, there have been days, especially in the summer, when I have woken up and then by the end of the night, I feel like I haven't done anything. I haven't been very productive.
Probably haven't done anything.
That's probably true. But I don't feel very productive. I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. And one of the things is the importance of setting a schedule. Really, technically, your school day should consist from 8 to 3. Okay.
Okay, that's not a shocker, right?
It's
not a shocker at all. I know that probably sounded kind of like.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell that to my own
You're
children.
like, oh, what's Ms. Rudd about to say? So
8
to
to
3, you really should be doing educational stuff all day. Now, if for some reason you need to step out with your parents or do something, we understand that, and you can put that time somewhere else, and that's fine. But really, 8 to 3 should be designated to doing schoolwork. And so we are going to provide an example.
Yeah.
Okay? So our example is, and it is 8 to 3, you'll
Here
see.
we go.
Okay? And so the first thing you need to do...
Oh, it's backwards. Is it backwards? Will they see it backwards?
They'll just have to look backwards.
Yeah, because I can't turn it on. Surely it won't be backwards for them.
I don't know. Okay.
Okay, oh well.
At
Sorry.
8 o'clock,
I didn't
you
think
need
about
to
that.
wake up, or a little bit earlier, and you need to eat.
Eat.
Okay? And you need to eat, and you need to try to eat
Healthy.
good food,
Yeah.
healthy food. Don't skip breakfast.
And if you sign up for meal delivery or you stop by and get lunch, they have breakfast food in it. That's what my kids have been eating.
Awesome.
Okay? Yeah.
And then also another thing that's important is you need to brush your teeth after you eat. Okay?
And your tongue.
And your tongue.
It's where the bad breath germs live. Well, and probably I'm not a dental anything. So, but
I'm not either, but I've been to
your
the
breath
dentist
stinks
quite
if
a
you
bit.
don't brush your tongue, kids.
If you don't brush your teeth, you're gonna get cavities, or 20 cavities. Okay.
Or
several cavities.
Yeah,
okay.
a lot.
So here's the deal. Not only do you need to brush your teeth, I know some of you may be sitting around the house, not getting up, even though we have really preached that you do that. You have to practice good hygiene.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wash with soap.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Wear
all over your body.
deodorant, all
Okay.
those kind of stuff. You're gonna feel much
Much
better
better.
about yourself. Okay.
Then it's time for NTI packet work.
Woo!
Woo! Some of you are finished with that packet, so you could just skip down and do some of the other things if you wanted to. That's totally fine. After NTI packet work, it is read. Anything. Anything. Just read.
Anything.
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 As long as it's, appropriate.
Yeah. Magazines, online articles, magazines. I think I already said magazines.
You did.
Maybe I said
You're repeating
articles. Yeah, all sorts of things. Anything you can
Anything.
read.
A book.
And we talked
Newspaper.
about this, Miss Mason, the other day. Is
Learning
some
that.
of you are home with younger siblings.
Read to
Okay.
them.
You could read to
Oh,
those
them.
kids.
They would love that.
You can
It's
help
good for you, too.
them. Help your parents. Help them do their schoolwork. Those types of things.
It's like
okay.
a inferno out here. I won't complain though. Better than alternative. Then it's a mind break.
Mind break. Let your mind break.
That could be, you're just taking a break, not necessarily getting on electronics, because if you're like my own child, the minute that he gets on electronics, he never wants to get off, and then
Right.
it's a hassle, and
Yeah.
then you get out of the routine and the schedule. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay? Mind break. Get up. Walk around. Go outside if it's nice. Listen to some music. Okay? Have a conversation. Call somebody up. Talk to them on the phone. Write a letter to Mr. Hood about how much you miss him.
Yeah, every one of my students have asked me if they could write a letter about how great I am. This would be a great time to do that. Okay.
No comment. I'm just joking. Mr. Hood's pretty great. Okay, then eat. Eat again. We know that kids your age eat all the time, so eat lunch. If that means wait for the school bus to drop it off on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that's great. If that means take a little, like, we call it, at my house, we call it our field trips. It's a field trip to go pick up lunch from one of the elementary schools and come back. I mean, it's something to get out of the house, and it makes me feel better to get out of the house as well.
And if for some reason you're not getting the meals that you signed up for, please let us know, and we will take care of that. I think we've gotten lots of good feedback.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting kind of close.
And so, social distance.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
I'm just trying to keep the sun in my eyes.
yesterday I stopped by Miss Mason's house and I saw one of her kids eating their lunch they had picked up and had a salad in it.
Yeah.
It looked amazing. Okay, the food looks amazing
It
and
does.
it's good for you.
They're doing a great job.
Okay, so whether you can, even if you can't go to the elementary schools, you can have one of those lunches delivered to you.
And you know what? If you have had those and you're enjoying those, take a picture and email it to one of us, and we'll give you some shout outs. I learned that word from Mylan's YouTube. Give me a shout out.
Yeah, maybe we can add that. Maybe we can add that to our segment.
Shout outs! That's great.
Yeah.
So if you're doing great things, take pictures. And you know, Miss Cottle, Joni Cottle, she's going to use the some of the pictures for the yearbook. So we'll kill two birds with one stone. That's an idiom as well. Okay, and we'll shout out, or you can make a comment and tell us, or write us, or email us, or anything, and tell us what you're doing, and we'll shout it out. Yeah. Okay. I got distracted. Okay, then after we eat, more packet work if you're not finished. If you're like my son, he doesn't want to do it all at the same time, so we break it up. Mylon will just sit down and do it all at the same time, but Landrick doesn't like that. So maybe if you have more packet work to do it after you have eaten. And then
related arts time. Do something creative.
Yeah.
Okay. Most of you, all of you, should have a related arts class.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's PE, do some physical activity. Do more physical activity.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially on days like this that are so nice to be able to get out. Okay. So if you are in speech, you could write a speech. You could write something you could present. Anything like that. And some of you obviously are able to communicate with friends and family and your friends from school, and maybe you can collaborate on something. Maybe you all can use some of that technology that I don't really know that's out there and work on a project together. Okay.
People are driving by and walking by and probably thinking that we're crazy.
Celebrities.
That's okay. Well, we are. They understand that craziness. Okay, we're gonna make this quick because our video is getting kind of long.
Yeah.
It's gonna take forever to upload. Okay.
Google Classroom
time or IXL time.
Make sure you do your packet first. That's the most important thing.
Yes, it is. You got to get that packet finished. And then at the very end, if you have time left over, choice work. So we talked about how you could journal about your experience. I saw in the news yesterday that historians were asking people to write about their experiences because this is literally, kiddos, we are living something that will be recorded in the history books. It's something that our world, not only our nation, not only our city, not only our state, the world is experiencing for the first time, hopefully maybe the only time, but journal about it maybe, what your day's like. Practical application, cook something. Use those math skills. Multiply a recipe if you know how to multiply fractions. I don't really remember how to do that. So,
make a cake.
Yeah.
Make something.
Do
we were
something.
talking about
Be creative.
this. One of the things with that some people are concerned about is the elderly, okay? And so make a cake for an elderly person next door, or some cupcakes or some cookies.
Just
or
make
something
sure
like
you're well before
Make sure
you
you're
deliver
well.
it
Absolutely.
and use food. Okay. Okay, so that's our schedule. Here you go. You know, you don't have to abide by this exact one, but make one. I promise you, you will feel better, and so will your parental units for sure. There's a wasp coming.
It's on a tripod.
Woo!
Okay, so on that note, we're gonna get off here, and we will hopefully see you maybe this weekend.
Yeah. Is that all we have?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Oh wait, what do you want to know? Did we already do that?
No, we didn't do that. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you need information, if you want answers to something that we haven't covered,
That's appropriate.
That's appropriate. Yes, I can do lottery tickets. I can't solve the mystery of Amelia Earhart. But if you have questions, concerns, anything, let us know. You can comment or you can send us an email and we'll try to address them in another video. All right, until then,
See you later.
bye. Love y'all.